ultimately, an entrepreneurial person is an investor.
Big time investor.
You're
That's all I do.
You're
Yeah.
investing your life. You're investing your money, your resources. That's what you're really doing.
It's true.
And you're going, I really hope it grows.
Long term.
Yeah,
Long
and
term.
it's all
not gonna
long
work
term.
tomorrow. Well, everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Risky Assets Podcast. I have a unique one that's a little more insurance-y today, but not insurance at the same time. Our guest today is Michael Ross. Michael, thank you for coming in. This was one where even I was a little stumped at first of what you guys were doing, and ended up you're kind of in my industry, actually. So this is going to be more of the business and less of the insurance, but I thought it was really interesting. We got connected through a friend of a friend who said it's actually you'd be a great guest and it's an interesting story. So your company, it's called Vision Forensic Engineering.
Correct.
Very fancy wording. What do you guys do? What's the business in and of itself?
So we do cause of loss investigations, mainly for insurance companies, but we do work with private parties as well.
Sure.
And our job is to go and figure out why a building is hurting and having problems and how to fix it. And we do both forensic engineering and building consulting. So we handle both sides of the equation.
Interesting. So, I mean, from a claims perspective, just talking about the insurance companies, why is it interesting to them to need to know what happened and what was the cause?
Well, there's a lot of components to that question, actually. The first one is
can we deny it? No.
Yeah. Can we deny it? Interesting enough, most of the insurance companies we work with are looking for a reason to pay it.
Those are the good ones.
Yeah, the good ones.
Those
and we have run into some that are looking but we're unbiased. We're considered unbiased, disinterested, third party subject matter experts. That's a mouthful,
Very cool.
isn't it?
Yeah, that's definitely a mouthful.
So anyway, our job is to go in and figure out what really happened.
Sure.
And there's two sides of that. One is there's actual, there was a problem, something happened.
Right.
A valve broke and caused water to make damage happen. And then there's another where somebody cut the line, and so we see real claims happen. We see,
fraud too.
what would be fraud.
Yeah.
And we've gotten a lot of people. We don't do it, but we have to put in a report that looked like a ball-peen hammer dent as opposed to a hail dent. You know? So
we see that all the time, man.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not surprising to the same degree that's more normal than it should be.
Yeah.
And then on the flip side, there's the private parties who you're consulting with them. Are they seeing issues and they want some help? Like, what is the private parties that are not insurance companies reaching out to you for?
Yeah, something's happened in their house. Their stairwell is leaning weird. They're noticing cracks. We get a lot of calls on cracks. We don't do a lot of private party. It's probably less than 1% of the work that we do.
Yeah, the insurance companies pay good. So
yeah, they do.
Yeah.
So they pay well, but also most people have insurance for those things. So they'll go through that. Sometimes we will get a call that their insurance company has denied them and they want a second opinion.
Yeah, because now you're trying to find a reason from an expert to say why they should cover it and give that to an attorney to flip the script.
Yes, and that does happen.
Okay.
I mean, there's times that adjusters, they're human beings, they'll get it wrong.
We tell people when you get an adjuster, 2 out of 3 are good, maybe 3 out of 4. And if it's one of those that aren't good, ask for another one. Because sometimes you just got someone who's having a bad day or they're just not good at their job and you need another opinion for sure.
And some of them just simply don't know.
Correct.
They're looking at a crack in the wall and they're like, I'm not sure where this came from. Is this house settling? Yeah, it's not their job.
They
their
didn't go
job
to school
is
for it. Yeah.
Yeah. They're supposed to know. They have certain metrics that they work on, and they know what their wheelhouse is, if you will. And when it's outside of that, that's where we step in and give them the answer for the cause of loss.
Just reminded me of a question. Who are you hiring? Like, these aren't people that are just coming out of high school that can then do all this work. Like, these people have, I'm assuming, some sort of advanced degree that you're hiring, right?
They all have to be professional engineers.
Okay, that makes sense.
We don't use everybody that we use is a PE or above. We have PhD level people. One of our guys right now is boots on the ground to that big loss in Washington with the paper mill place.
Sure.
Horrible.
That one ain't hard to figure out, though.
Pardon me?
Wasn't that the one the guy was lighting the toilet paper on fire? Or is that a different one?
No, I think it's a different one.
Oh, it's a different. Oh, that was the chemical one.
Yeah,
that's where the people got hurt.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a different one.
They're still trying to figure out. It just recently happened, but we work from a water in a wall that's causing blisters, and we don't know, they don't know why, all the way to something like that. But you have to have a professional engineer do that.
Understood.
Some companies in the forensic world, in our forensic world, they'll use like a engineer in training, which means they've gotten out of college, but they haven't gotten their PE level yet.
Understood, yeah.
We don't do that. We believe that they're hiring us to be professional engineers, so we always only use professional engineers.
No, it makes sense. Do you guys hire new people and just have them shadowing and training until that perspective, or do you guys wait for them to get experience somewhere else and then bring on experienced people?
It's both.
Okay.
We do a lot of 1099 work. We contract a lot of engineers because our company is a national firm, and there's a lot more claims and work that we do in Florida, say, as opposed to Nebraska, where there's nothing.
Yeah, the wind, the water, all that stuff over there. Yeah.
So most of our work comes from the coastal areas.
Not surprising.
Yeah, and wherever there's a lot of snow, wherever there's a lot of the weather,
water,
water. But we use 1099s, W-2 guys as well, and our main job really is to serve. This is what I believe. Our job, and this is why I love what we're doing and why I got into it, is we're meeting people at a place that's a difficult moment for them, and we're helping them get answers as to what the issue is to take care of them. So we're helping get people whole.
It's true. I feel like on the brokerage side, obviously Greyhawk is what we're doing. We're hoping, and most of the time it's true, that when something happens, they have the coverage for it. Unless the insurance company starts getting squirrely or something. 15 years, I still haven't had a claim denied, so we've done a pretty good job.
Wow, that's
of it.
awesome, man.
But we hear it happen that insurance companies will get squirrely or something weird happens, or they don't have the coverage. They denied themselves. And those are hard days because it is a worst day scenario for a lot of families and businesses to deal with it. So I respect that mindset. But as you were saying, you got into this to help people, but what actually got you into the business? When did you start the Vision Forensic? Just give me the rundown of what that history looked like.
So about 12 years ago, I found I needed a job. I had been a pastor.
Oh, wow.
And I stopped doing that. I felt, okay, I've done my time, and I needed a job, and I love sales. I've been in sales a lot. So I started looking for a sales job, and this company out of the blue calls me and says, or they emailed me and said, we'd be interested in talking to you because part of my background is I'm what's called a market breaker. I know how to get into markets.
Sure.
And they wanted to get into California, this forensic engineering firm. And they called me. I said, I have no idea what that is. And they said, well, that's okay. We'll train you. And my wife came up and tapped me on the shoulder. She goes, take this job. Because I was interviewing with some other companies as well. I have a pretty good CV when it comes to sales. Mm-hmm. So she goes, you take this job. And I was like, well, my wife's telling me I better move forward on this. So I interviewed with them, and it worked out great. And I ended up becoming their regional sales manager for all of California. And I learned forensic engineering from there. And I thought when I first heard, I thought, oh, that's like CSI level stuff, that's going to be cool because I'm kind of a gadget geek, I thought that's going to be cool, and it's not that. It's all brain power, math. The first job that I went out on was the guy used a ruler, a plumb line, and a tape measure, and a ladder.
Using trigonometry.
Yeah, and then he had a soil probe, and this is what hooked me. It was a building where the wall had come loose. And because they had said a woman had hit it. It was a cinder block building. So they said the woman had hit it, and it was making it move away. And the guy asked a couple of questions of the owner, and he turns around to me and he goes, he's not going to like the answer.
Yeah.
And I go, why? And he goes, well, I'm looking at the crack. The crack's even all the way across. And he goes up and he measures, and it's like 2.5 inches all the way around. And he goes, Michael, how does a wall fall? I said, I don't know. And he puts his hands like this, and he goes, it's not going to be even.
Right, it's off its bottom axis.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's fascinating. So then he takes a soil probe, he goes outside, and he goes 4 or 5 feet, bing, bing, 4 or 5 feet, bing, bing. And he goes, they added onto this building, and they put the wrong foundational pieces in. They put in anchors as opposed to pillars, and the wall sliding away.
Yeah.
And I was like, dang, that is cool. I didn't need the gadgets, man. Just
fun.
seeing,
Sure.
it was awesome to see. And I thought, I want to do that.
That's fun.
I mean, I want to be a part of that world.
Yeah.
So I actually got to the point where I actually train engineers how to do a forensic. I don't do the engineering part, but I teach them how to do an investigation because there's all kinds of do's and don'ts,
Fair. Yeah.
You don't want to, what they say, loose lips sink ships. So if you come up and you say, man, I haven't seen something like that in a while, suddenly you've just lost your ability to be considered an expert because you haven't seen it in a while, And in the insurance world, everything can be litigated.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we see that all the time as well.
So we have to approach it that way.
Sure. No, it makes sense. And then, so you got into that, we said 12, 13 years ago for another firm. And then when did you decide, okay, I think I have the horsepower to do this on my own and start my own thing?
Believe it or not, it was right after that. I worked with that first company for about 3 years, a little over 3 years. And I was thinking while I was doing it, I said, I could do this. I could actually set up my own company. And so they decided they were going to change how they were doing their sales stuff. So I decided to go to another company, a local company. This one was in Kentucky.
Okay.
So I went to a local one here, and they were doing surety claims, surety work. And I thought, wow, I don't know anything about that. And also construction defect.
It's all construction type.
Yeah. So I was like, that's interesting. So I learned as much as I could from them because I felt like I needed to learn a little bit more about the industry.
Sure.
And then I got headhunted by another company in Colorado, and I went to work for them. And when I went there, believe it or not, okay, I have to sometimes have things pointed out to me in my life, like, you got to do this. I wasn't sure I wanted to go with this company, and through circumstance, I went to church one day, and the guy, the pastor, was literally using the phrase that I had connected to this company that I really didn't want to go to work for. But I thought, okay, I better go do it. And when I was doing that, I realized I can do this.
Sure.
And I went, okay, that's it. So I started my own company then. And again, I'm a believer, and I believe God is intersecting with our life all the time. And I said, okay, well, I can't do this on my own. I need somebody to help me. I need some backers, and I also need some people who also know engineers and stuff.
Sure.
The very next day, I got a text from a really close friend who said, I need to diversify my my portfolio. You know anybody that's looking for an investor? I mean, the next morning, I was like, okay, I guess I better move forward. And then a friend of mine who owned a product, is how we got our name actually. Friend of mine owned a construction management company called Vision Construction Management. And we thought, well, and he was going to partner with me.
Okay.
And he comes on, and now here's the world of entrepreneurialism, right? I'm working at this other job, making very good money, and I'm launching, and I'm going from, a good 6-figure salary, bonuses, commissions, all that stuff, to none of that.
Yeah.
It's all on what I'm about to do, And this guy comes on, and we get everything set up. And the day I was getting ready to give my notice, he said, I don't think I want to move forward. He goes, I'm just not feeling like I want to. And we're still really great friends, but I was like, wow, the day before. So I had to take him out. The other guy, the investor, was fine. And then I was on my own, because the other guy's a silent partner. He doesn't want to really be involved with it. And so then I'm on my own, and I had to learn all the engineering, the actual insights to licensing a firm, licensing the experts themselves, all of that stuff suddenly, because I was going to be the sales part of the company.
And you all of a sudden became the operator and the sales. Yeah.
Became the whole enchilada, as they say, right?
Yeah.
And so, but when you're an entrepreneurial, when you have an entrepreneurial spirit, you just can't allow that stuff to get you down. You just have to think about, how do I get around
the figure it out mentality. Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? This is what I thought was kind of interesting is, honestly, I made a huge mistake when we first started. I looked at all the licensures for firms in the States, and I thought, I really don't have to have a license for a firm. It just has to be the expert. Well, no. Turns out that in most of the states, your firm has to be licensed as well.
Right.
And you have to have a licensed expert engineer oversee all the work that you're offering in that
Sure.
state. Well, I didn't have the money to hire somebody to be that, so I had to figure it out. I didn't want to give up any equity in the company, so I figured out how to do licensure deals. And went through, and a really close friend who I worked with as an engineer, out of the blue, called and said, "Hey, you still looking for somebody to work with you?" And I said, "Sure." So I got a lucky break.
Incredible.
And he helped me. He helped me get the licenses that I needed to start off with. And when we first started, there's 8 states you don't have to have it.
Okay.
So we were
You're
able
in
to do
there,
that.
right?
But there's really no work
I
in those 8 states. Right. It's all in Florida, Texas, Louisiana,
Yeah.
North Carolina, South Carolina.
All the coastals.
And yes, you have to be licensed in those places. So anyway, he came on and he was willing to help us do that. And so we went from those 8 states to 23 states. And our company, we're only actually about 5.5 years old. And we went in 5.5 years from 8 states to now we're a national company. We cover all 50 states.
What's a good segue so it's funny because Greyhawk's coming up on 5 years as well. And we feel like we've done a lot in that 5-year time.
Wow.
It sounds like you guys have as well. You started with just you, or did you have some people that you were able to bring as part of like the employment staff?
Start off with myself and my daughter's best friend.
Okay.
Who just by good fortune, she lives with us. She's my daughter's best friend, and her father owned a surveying company, and she had worked for him. Their family moved to Idaho.
Okay.
She didn't want to move to Idaho, so she's like,
Pandemic time or something?
Yeah, and we said, yeah. And we said, well, you can come live with us, and it worked out great. And so she needed a job, and I said, you know what? Can you help me? Because I'm doing this all on my own, if you don't mind. And it turned out she
understood the general framework of a business.
So now she's our administrative manager, and she does an amazing job. Her name's Hannah, and she's amazing at what she does. And it was just her and I this far apart in our spare bedroom office in our house.
I love it.
And then finally my wife says one day, you need to get an office. You need to get out of here. I can't handle you walking around on the phone all day.
So funny.
So we went and got an office that we love. And
talk about offices. This podcast studio in my office, which is over here, was as big as our first office with like 6 people.
I love
We
that.
were just jamming people in. It was all about keeping expenses as low as possible
Yeah.
for as long as possible. And no real break room. You have to have one. So we had this little like nook that had a microwave and like a tiny fridge. But those were the good times. Now when I look back and just going, hey, we went through a lot in that little time, and it was cool to see the grassroots movement for the company, which I'm sure you sympathize with.
Well, we had our first this year. So when we started actually officially. We became an LLC in 2020.
Okay, cool.
In July of 2020, but we didn't actually start doing anything until May of 2021.
Okay.
And my goal was to be $1 million company within 5 years, and we beat that in 3.5 years. So we were very proud of that. And then we had our first company meeting this year in January. We called everybody in, and everybody was like sitting around going, "Wow, look at this!" We got a room full of people here. We're going through the growth of the company, showing them the map from where we started to where we are. And it's exciting. It is exciting. And you do wax romantically about the days when, you don't go buy a new pen,
It's so funny because when I talk about my entrepreneurial journey, I didn't think I was an entrepreneur, first of all, for years. I just didn't know. I didn't recognize that was the skill. I just had no interest in owning a business, honestly. And then at some point I woke up and I was like, man, I'm like the black sheep in a lot of places, and I drive people up the wall because I want to go. And I was like, I think I'm not supposed to be in a box.
Yeah.
And it took me a little bit to figure that out, but the amount of stuff that it took to start Greyhawk, I sold houses, I sold my stocks. I was so committed to making it work and hiring people right away. When I look back now, if someone said, hey, this is what I'm doing, I would have been like, dude, be careful with your money. Because it was so risky. Yeah. And I look back now, obviously with fondness on that time, but the amount of risk I took to get it to work, now I'd look back and go, you probably shouldn't have been so reckless. But you probably would have somewhat of that same feeling, big salary, commissions, all the awesome, comfortable things, but you gave it all up.
Yeah.
That's a you can wax romantically because it is at the same time.
Well, you know what? It's scary. It's a little terrifying. There were times, I will say, my faith got me through a lot.
Of course.
But and that's the number one thing that gets you, for me personally, it gets me through those times. My wife is awesome. You know, she's a very smart person. You know, she's the reason I'm here. You know, but the thing is you just can't let that fear make you stop.
Of course,
it has to actually propel you. You know, I have 3 kids. I got to put food on the table. I'm thinking, okay, I'm taking a big risk here. My wife knew that we were taking a risk, but in a weird way, you're betting on yourself.
Correct. No, you
know?
100% are.
Yeah, and you're going, I always felt, okay, I can do this. I know I can. You know, I'm not the brightest bulb. You know, I'm not the
I don't
smartest.
think most entrepreneurs are.
But what you do is my wife says that you're not afraid of a fight, and I'm not.
Yeah.
Because you're that guy that will say, oh, that looks cool. Let's try that. You know, and I do that. I'll admit it.
Yeah, shout
sometimes
out
it
to the
gets me in
wives.
trouble.
Yeah, it does everybody, you know.
But-
it's cool that you're saying your wife's supporting. So, I mean, for us, we had 4 kids. My littlest one was barely a year old when we went out and did this whole venture.
Wow.
So, you know, it was scary. Private school starting at the same time. Like, we had a lot of factors that were pulling us. But, you know, when I was working a lot as an employee, like as a salesperson only, my wife would get annoyed that I would work later. And, like, she's like, well, you're not building your own thing. It's just, why are you putting all the extra hours? And then as soon as I started the business, I worked more.
Yeah.
And she was like, awesome.
Yeah.
It's all good. She believed that I could do that, and I was meant for that position anyway. I mean, and shout out to her. She's an incredible rock to the family. Today's our 15th anniversary.
Congratulations,
actually. So,
man.
Big
That's
day. After this, I'm going to
awesome.
have a nice dinner.
Good for you.
With the
That's
wife.
awesome.
But, you know, and she also had faith, one, that God would take care of us. And I think she saw the entrepreneurial thing before I even saw it. And so she fully believed that it was the right thing for us to do. We've come up on some hard times running Greyhawk, but she was always steadfast and like, this is what we're supposed to do. So it's cool. Entrepreneurial journey is never just smooth and easy. And I'm sure
It's
know
not
that.
for the faint of heart.
Yeah, it's not. Because you get all the cool stuff, but you get all the bad stuff.
Well, yeah, absolutely. It's tough. You know, we had a little bit. One thing I found out once we started the company, I realized I am woefully undercapitalized. I'm like, wow, holy camole, if I missed that, you know. And so we were doing the credit card trick, you know. We have enough work come in, pay off the credit cards a little bit, you know, but we were racking up a debt. But I was a part of a Christian businessman's group, and they asked me one day, and I was like kind of going this because I don't like being in debt. And I go in, and it was my turn to share all my books and plan and everything. I don't think they're going to rip me apart. And I set it down, and they're all looking at it and go, man, you have a really good company here. It's very strong. I'm like, but I'm $90,000 in debt. And they're like, but look at your
Those
sales.
are rookie numbers, dude.
Yeah, yes. I'm like, wow, thank you for that. I actually taped it. I didn't realize, but I had actually taped it. And I listened to it not too long ago, and it just made me go, you know, it's always the same thing. It's just the size is the difference, right?
It's all relative.
So, when you first start, you know, every dollar, and you're counting every dollar. But as you're growing in your company, you're still counting every dollar. But now it's not $1, it's $100, and it's 1,000, and then it's 10,000, and that's what you want to do, right? You just learn how to manage it. You know, what's that old saying? If you're responsible with the small stuff, you get out onto. And I see that.
Of course. Well, we talked. My business partner Daniel and I, at the end of this last year, we remember looking at our payroll figures. And then we were going, dang, we're $100,000 every 2 months. I mean, every 2 weeks, effectively. And I was like, dude, I was happy when we were making that amount of money a month, you know. And now it's like, wow, our cover just to pay people and all that stuff is that amount I used to be really cool with. Our first payroll amount was like $5,000.
Yeah, right.
And now it's like, dude, if $5,000 just, you know, it snaps. Now again, it's all relative. But to your point, like, it is actually cool to see those bills and be able to go, all right, like, we can afford these things now. People are taken care of at the company. That's also really, I'm sure you can relate to this. It's really cool to see other people be a part of the network who are taking care of their families.
Oh, yeah.
You know, there's a lot of satisfaction that comes with that.
Sure.
All that to say, but it is so true what you were saying. Like, it's all relative to a certain degree.
I think as a business owner, your absolute number one thing is the people that you work with, you know, and you got to take care of them and, you know, having a pastoral background. Interestingly enough, a lot of the guys that run our company used to be pastors and stuff.
Interesting.
It is kind of interesting how that worked out. Our operations director, I actually met him through. He and I were helping plant a church in Santa Clarita.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. And then he moved to North Carolina, and I didn't see him for a few years. I just started the company, and he moved back. I see him in Walmart, and I say, hey, and I said, I know we're going to work together. And I found out, I did not know this, but he had a construction background. And he worked for Foursquare, and he managed all of the buildings. I'm like,
interesting.
Wow. Okay. And then he came on, and I couldn't pay him near what I should have paid him, but he was willing to come on and help me build. And one of the things I believe is you build your own. You help build this place. You know, and I think entrepreneurs. There's some guys that are thinking just now. I think really as a true entrepreneurial person, you have to think generationally.
It's very true.
Like I'm thinking, I want my kids to not have to worry about this. People laugh when I say this, but I want my kids to be trust fund babies.
Yeah.
What does every parent want? They want their kids to have a better life than you. My dad was in the military, Vietnam, the whole bit. We went through all that, never had a lot. Walked out of college owing student loans and stuff, and and I'm just, I don't want that for my kids. I want them to know that they don't have to worry about anything. But I believe that's a godly thing that says if you don't leave your child an inheritance.
Well, it's a talents issue too when you look at it, right? Are you using the things that God's given you, or are you just planting your coin in the ground and just hoping for the best, right? Like
parable of the talents, man.
There's a real biblical mandate for that. So, and I'm fully on board with that mindset as well.
Yeah.
Well, and I always balance this conversation as an entrepreneur because money will only solve money problems. The heart is still the heart, and like
that's
money ain't gonna ever
saying,
change
man. That's a really good saying. I'm going to steal that.
Appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, I always want to make sure the heart's good. And my business partner Daniel here, incredible heart. I'm a believer as well. We want to make sure that. Yeah, we want to make some money. Like that's the whole point of why I leave my house every day is to go make sure that everyone's provided for. But, there's a lot of bread for a lot of people, and I don't need every single dollar of it. I can't take it with me to the gates, but I can impact a lot of people's lives at the same time.
That's right.
So we try and take that mindset. And to your point, a lot of people here have helped us build Greyhawk. They're going to be owners. And I'm very open with just get to this point. You're a good culture fit. You're going to start buying in. This will be your house just like it's my house.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of wisdom to that, right? Because then they're also helping build. But I'm also not being selfish when I say, no, I need to keep the entire watermelon to myself.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good mindset to say, hey, you helped and you should have some upside in it.
And I think people are more interested in that.
Oh, of course.
My goal, I tell, and it's funny, this is truly when you write your goal about your company, and I wrote my goal, I want people to wake up and thank God they work for our company.
That's a really cool thing.
That's all I want. Yeah. I want them to wake up and say, I am so glad I said yes to this company.
Yeah.
And they see that in you. They see that you're willing to do that, They can ask for things if they need help. We have one young lady who is in school and stuff, and she needed some help in getting some equipment. And she asked, could we help her with a loan? We said, no, we'll just buy it for you.
Yeah.
And that's the coolest part.
People. Yeah. No, it's awesome. I mean, gosh, I wish, we could have even a bigger impact. I think that's why we want to grow too, is I really do think I can give a lot of people a great career. To your point, I think I can help people. And I told you off camera, like I hire people that are brand new to the industry. I spend a lot of time to get them trained. I think it's what God's called me to. I'm really talented at that. I'm good at the execution of insurance and getting it down to the next generation. Yeah. So, I think that there's also a business model to say that like help first is a real thing in business. And I think it's better that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also you said long-term thinking. It's so hard to get these people going. I'm losing money for years while they're getting going, but I know in 4, 5, 10 years, it will pay for itself time over. But you have to be willing to have that long-term horizon view.
Well, ultimately, an entrepreneurial person is an investor.
Big time investor. That's all I do.
You're investing your life. You're investing your money, your resources. That's what you're really doing.
It's true.
And you're going, I really hope it grows.
Long term.
Yeah,
long
and
term,
it's
it's
all
not going to work
long-term.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, in insurance, I mean, your industry, because it's service-based, is the same way. It's a get-rich-slow scheme. It's not like a tech company where you can snap your fingers with a great product and it's infinitely scalable. This is a get-rich-slow scheme. So I've always take that mentality of like, it's not about tomorrow. It's about the day after and after and after. But all I have to say, it's exciting to be in your position to have all these options at the same time. So it's really, really fun. What's the last thing you would say just for why should people use you or insurance companies? Like, what is your like elevator pitch to people as why you guys are the best in the industry?
Oh, that's a great question. I would say operationally, the product that we do is different than our competitors in that we took time to learn what the needs were of the industry. We didn't just build it to go, and we wanted to bring something different to it. So even our reports, when we do a report, the conclusion is on the front. They don't have to search through 12, 15 pages to find out what they want. It's literally right on the front. But when I started the company, I called attorney friends and adjusting friends and said, what would you like to see in a report? And they all said, put it on the front.
Give me the summary up front.
Right?
Yeah, it's funny.
So one is we are very service oriented. I like to consider ourselves a white glove company.
Mm-hmm. We're
We're going to give you the best service we can possibly give you. We're going to over communicate. If something goes wrong, we own it. We fix it like that. We do CE courses. We just got the greatest, coolest thing. We just got this guy's an industry icon. His name's Terry Sutton, and he does CE courses, continuing education. Yeah. All adjusters have to have it, and he's an icon. And I know this sounds crazy, but it's like, I choose you. And so we're like, yes, thank you, Terry, because that was something that was really important to us, is to give back to the industry. Yeah. But primarily, the number one thing is that we have very fast turnaround. You're not waiting for that. A lot of companies, they're 2 weeks to a month out. We're 2 weeks or under, from the time that we inspect it to the time that we get that in their hands. We never really charge what they call a supplemental, which is a big important thing. It's clarity, and our slogan is bringing clarity. So our job, if our report isn't clear, we're going to make it clear for you. And I think the main thing is our heart and our service to really want to take care of people.
Sure.
We understand what we're doing. We understand that we're dealing with people and businesses that are hurting, and they don't have time.
Got to play games. And all that,
yeah. So we got to get in there, do our job, do it as best we can, with the right attitudes and everything. And I think the thing that makes us the company that we are is our heart and soul. This guy I was just telling you about, Terry Sutton, came on. He's worked in the industry. And he goes, I've never worked with a company with this culture before in this market. He goes, you guys are totally different, and I love it. He goes, this is exactly what we need. And I think that's what we bring to the table.
That's great. You guys have horsepower to make it to double, triple what you have with a
think
good
so.
culture, which is really cool.
I will say, I'll just put it as succinctly as I can. First, God, faith in God and listening to God and what he tells you to do. Sometimes it'll even sound counterintuitive. You're like, what, really? And you go, okay. And it works out, and you can always trust in him. And then secondly is surround yourself with people who really have some backbone, who's not afraid, who have faith and who are willing to step forward in things to see the vision, And I think that's everything. You got to have vision, man.
I agree with that.
Gotta have
the
vision.
company. That's right. That's right. Well, I had a great time getting to know you and the company.
Same here. Thank
really
you.
fun. Always talking to entrepreneurs and hearing their journey, especially because I didn't have a lot of context for you. I mean, we literally connected early this week, and I was like, hey, let's do it. And it's always fun to take a little bit of a leap of faith to talk to people and be like, hey, it worked out. It was a good conversation. So it's great. You weren't too weird. I'm a little weird, but it's not too bad.
We're entrepreneurs.
We're
of course
weird.
we're weird.
I know it. So I appreciate you coming down. Really
thank you
appreciate
for the
it.
invite. I really appreciate it. Yeah.
I hope you all enjoyed that episode. I put whatever information in our link just about you guys and how people can work with you when the time comes. Obviously, I'm connected to the insurance industry, so maybe there's some synergies there.
I love that.
But thank you again for coming on. I hope you all enjoyed that episode, and we will catch you on the next one. See y'all.